Ok, mình sẽ chép lại ý nguyên đoạn bạn vừa gửi, giữ nguyên nội dung và định dạng. Number 15, the pattern-seeking machine. Imagine you're walking down the street and see a woman in a red hat drop a piece of paper. You keep walking, and a few minutes later, you see a man in a red jacket talking on his phone in a way that looks furtive. Then later, you're watching the news, and they mention something about a government official. Your brain, with all its billions of neurons and its ancient programming, instantly takes those three things, the red hat, the red jacket, and the politician, and stitches them together into a little tapestry of meaning. What if they're all connected? What if this is a message? What if you were meant to see that? You've just created a tiny conspiracy theory, and your brain is giving itself a congratulatory pat on the back. It's not a bug, it's a feature. Your mind is a pattern-seeking machine built over millions of years to connect the dots in the vast, chaotic cosmos of information. Back when we were living in caves, seeing a certain bird fly away just before a predator appeared was the difference between a successful hunt and a very bad afternoon. That pattern-seeking instinct is what kept us alive. But in our modern world, where there is no lion, it starts seeing lions in things like celebrity deaths and global events. It's no longer about survival. It's about a dopamine hit. The thrill of connecting seemingly unrelated dots is the same one you get from solving a crossword puzzle, except this puzzle involves shadow governments and ancient aliens. Your brain gets a little high from a sense of deep insight, even if the patterns it's seeing are nothing more than noise. Number 14, the illusion of control. Think about a time when you felt completely helpless. Maybe your car broke down on a deserted road, or you got laid off from a job you loved for reasons that were never fully explained. That feeling of not being in control is one of the most terrifying things a human can experience. We are hardwired to want to command our environment, to understand the rules so we can follow them and stay safe. So, when something big and terrifying happens, a natural disaster, a financial crisis, or a global pandemic, and the experts are saying, we don't know why, and we don't know what's going to happen next, your brain is basically having a mild panic attack. It's an intolerable state of being. And this is precisely where a good conspiracy theory steps in to save the day. It's the ultimate psychological comfort blanket. It turns a scary, chaotic, and senseless event into a manageable narrative, even if that narrative is about lizard people or an evil cabal. It's a way of saying someone, somewhere, is in control. Knowing that there's a secret group running the show is, for many, less terrifying than believing that life is just a series of random, unpredictable, and ultimately meaningless events. It's the difference between being a pawn in a rigged game versus being a piece of debris floating in an endless, empty ocean. Number 13, the black and white world. Life is messy, and your brain absolutely hates it. We live in a world of nuance, gray areas, and endlessly complex situations with no easy answers. Why did the stock market crash? Well, it's a confluence of geopolitical tensions, complex financial instruments, and a million other things you don't have time to understand. This is mentally exhausting. It requires critical thinking, patience, and the uncomfortable acceptance that things aren't always what they seem. A good conspiracy theory, on the other hand, is a simple, elegant little solution to all that mental work. It takes all the mess and all the nuance and boils it down to a beautiful, cinematic narrative of good versus evil. It's a classic story. There's a shadowy group, a hero trying to expose them, and a big, satisfying reveal. Suddenly, you don't have to worry about all those confusing details. The bad guys are clear. The good guys are clear. There are no gray areas, no contradictory facts, and no uncomfortable ambivalence. Your brain gets to take a mental holiday from all the hard work of making sense of a complicated world and gets to enjoy a simple, emotionally satisfying narrative where all the pieces fit together perfectly. The world no longer looks like a confusing, abstract painting. It looks like a children's coloring book where all the lines are already drawn. And for a lot of people, that's a whole lot easier to deal with. Number 12, the secret social club. Think about the last time you were at a party or a family gathering and someone started talking about something you'd never heard of. Maybe it was a secret historical event or a new theory about a politician, and they leaned in close, lowered their voice, and said, "They don't want you to know this." In that moment, you didn't just hear a piece of information. You were invited into a secret club. You were no longer just a regular person. You were now part of the in-the-know crowd, someone who was being trusted with a forbidden truth. This feeling of social validation is a powerful, powerful drug for your brain. Believing in a conspiracy theory isn't just about the theory itself. It's about the social community it creates. You get to connect with people who share your suspicions, who see the world in the same way, and who validate your feelings of being a lone truth seeker. You're no longer a weirdo shouting into the void. You're a member of a sacred, secret collective. This sense of belonging is a fundamental human need. And in an increasingly isolated world, finding a group that makes you feel special, intelligent, and uniquely aware is a massive psychological reward. The theory itself is almost secondary to the sense of shared purpose and camaraderie you gain from believing in it. Bạn có muốn mình chép tiếp số 11 đến số 1 theo cùng định dạng này không? Ok, mình sẽ chép lại y nguyên đoạn bạn vừa gửi, không thêm, không bớt, không sang tạo. Number 11, the hero's journey. Your life is a story, and for most of us, that story is a little boring. You wake up, you go to work, you scroll through social media, you go to bed. It's the plot equivalent of a dry instruction manual. But deep down, your brain is wired for something much more epic. It wants to be the protagonist of an adventure. It wants to face a terrifying threat, overcome great odds, and save the day. A conspiracy theory hands you this adventure on a silver platter. You're no longer just a regular person with a regular job. You are a lone warrior battling the forces of disinformation. Every late-night search on the internet isn't just you procrastinating. It's you digging for buried treasure. Every time you share a video with a friend, you are a brave truth teller, a hero on a quest to enlighten the masses. This psychological reframe is unbelievably powerful. It turns a mundane existence into a grand cosmic battle. The stakes are raised, your purpose is clear, and the meaning is immediate. You get to feel like the star of an action movie, but the only stunt you have to pull is clicking a mouse. Number 10, the dopamine hit of I told you so. Let's be honest with ourselves. There are few feelings in the world better than being right. That little surge of dopamine that floods your brain when you win an argument, correctly guess the answer to a trivia question, or successfully predict a movie's plot twist is pure, unadulterated pleasure. And a good conspiracy theory is basically a long con version of that. It sets up an entire worldview that is designed to be confirmed, not challenged. You've got a narrative, you've got your evidence, and every time you find a news story or a random comment that seems to fit your pre-existing theory, your brain gives you a little chemical reward. See? I knew it, your brain whispers. This is the ultimate self-reinforcing loop. The more you find things that seem to prove your theory, the more dopamine you get, and the more you want to keep looking. You aren't seeking the truth, you're seeking the glorious feeling of being right. It's the ultimate psychological shortcut to intellectual superiority, allowing you to feel smart and insightful without having to do the hard, messy work of actual critical thinking. It's an intellectual junk food that's instantly gratifying and just as empty in the long run. Number 9, the emotional comfort of blame. Life is full of frustrations. Why did the economy tank? Why is the world so divided? Why is it so hard to get a straight answer from anyone? When things go wrong and there's no clear person or group to blame, your brain goes into a little stress spiral. It feels this low-level hum of anxiety, a sense of injustice that has nowhere to land. A good conspiracy theory is the ultimate emotional release valve. It takes all that free-floating frustration and channels it directly onto a specific, well-defined enemy. It's no longer a vague, systemic issue. It's a specific cabal, a shadowy elite, or a single powerful villain. This is psychologically comforting because your brain is a simple problem solver. It prefers a clear enemy it can hate to a complex problem it can't solve. Instead of having to accept that sometimes bad things just happen for random, complicated, and deeply unsatisfying reasons, you get to feel righteous anger and indignation at the bad guys. It's the difference between being a victim of circumstance and being a hero fighting a secret war. You're no longer just frustrated. You're a soldier in a moral crusade. Number 8, intellectual narcissism. Let's face it, Deep down, you probably think you're a little smarter than most people. It's not a bad thing, it's just a normal human feeling. We all want to feel like we're special, like we have access to a deeper level of reality that others are blind to. And what could possibly make you feel more special than believing you've uncovered a secret truth that billions of sheeple have failed to see? This is the core psychological reward of a conspiracy theory. It's a form of intellectual narcissism. It allows you to feel brilliant without having to do the hard work of, earning a PhD or conducting original research. You get to feel like a lone intellectual giant in a world of mental midgets. This sense of intellectual superiority is so incredibly satisfying to the ego that it can override all rational thought. It's why you'll see people who have no background in virology suddenly become experts on a new virus, or people who've never studied geopolitics start explaining how the world is secretly run. Your brain gets to play the role of the smartest person in the room, and that is a far more powerful motivator than any little thing called truth. Bạn có muốn mình tiếp tục chép lại số 7 đến số 1 cho đủ bộ không? Ok, mình sẽ chép lại y nguyên đoạn bạn vừa gửi, không thêm, không bớt, không sang tạo. Number 7. The confirmation bias echo chamber. Your brain is already on your side. It loves your ideas, it wants you to be right, and it will go to amazing lengths to prove that you are. It's a cognitive bias called confirmation bias, and it's a very real thing. You seek out information that confirms what you already believe and unconsciously ignore anything that contradicts it. And what does the modern internet do? It supercharges this instinct into a full-blown echo chamber. Once you start searching for a specific conspiracy theory, the algorithms of YouTube and social media feeds will start feeding you endless videos and articles that all confirm that theory. It's not a conspiracy, it's just how the system works. Your brain gets an endless supply of evidence to validate your beliefs, and it gets to live in a little digital world where everyone agrees with it. This creates a feedback loop of validation and reinforcement, making the belief feel unshakable. The more you watch, the more you believe, and the more you believe, the more you watch. It's a perfect psychological trap, custom built for a brain that craves simple truths and an ego that craves to be right. You are essentially being fed a diet of intellectual comfort food, and it's no wonder you can't get enough. Number 6, the feeling of special knowledge. In a world where everyone has access to the same information, there is a primal psychological hunger to know something that nobody else knows. It's an intellectual gold rush. And a conspiracy theory gives you a map to a hidden mine. It's the ultimate antidote to the blandness of consensus. When you believe in a conspiracy, you aren't just consuming information. You are a secret agent of truth. You've unlocked a level of reality that is hidden from the masses. This isn't a small reward for your ego. This makes you feel special, powerful, and deeply insightful. It taps into the same feeling you get when you're the first one to find a hidden secret in a video game or solve a riddle nobody else can. The vast majority of information in the world is democratized, sanitized, and neatly packaged for mass consumption. A good conspiracy theory, on the other hand, feels bespoke. It feels like a private, forbidden truth that was meant for you alone. And in a world of endless public conversations, a secret is the most valuable thing you can own. It gives you a sense of power over your own reality, a feeling that you are not just a passive consumer of news, but an active participant in a great unfolding drama. Number 5, the antidote to existential dread. Your brain is a simple machine at its core, and it needs a clear problem to solve. For our ancestors, that problem was simple. Find food, avoid being eaten by a saber-toothed tiger, survive. But in our modern world, the problems are complex, abstract, and deeply unsatisfying. We are asked to worry about things we can't see, like climate change, economic instability, or a low-level sense of meaninglessness. This low-level dread is a far more insidious form of terror than a tiger, because you can't punch it, you can't run from it, and you can't defeat it. It just hangs there. A good conspiracy theory is the ultimate antidote to this kind of modern anxiety. It takes all of that abstract, free-floating dread and gives it a clear, concrete, and manageable target. It's no longer an abstract problem. It's a specific secret group that you can research, an evil plot that you can expose. It gives you a mission, a sense of purpose, and an enemy you can actually feel like you're fighting. The attraction to danger in this case isn't about adrenaline, it's about sanity. It's the desperate need to turn an overwhelming formless anxiety into a manageable, heroic quest. Number 4, the power of narrative. Our brains are hardwired for stories. It's how we make sense of the world, how we learn, and how we connect with others. We don't remember facts, we remember narratives. And a good conspiracy theory is, at its heart, a brilliant story. It has a clear beginning, middle, and end. It has a compelling cast of characters, the brave truth seeker, the evil villains, and the clueless masses. It has a dramatic arc with a rising sense of tension and the promise of a big reveal. The official story, on the other hand, is usually a bland, confusing mess. It's full of contradictory data, complicated explanations, and the deeply unsatisfying conclusion that there is no clear answer. Your brain, with all its billions of neurons, is always going to choose the good story over the bad one. It's why you would rather watch a movie than read a dry textbook. A good conspiracy theory is the ultimate mental shortcut. It gives you all the emotional and intellectual satisfaction of a great story, but without the hard work of making sense of reality. It's a beautifully wrapped gift that is full of nothing but air. And your brain, like a happy child, doesn't care about the contents. It just loves the pretty wrapping. Number 3, the need to feel unique. For all of human history, fitting in was a matter of survival. Being part of the tribe meant you had protection, food, and a social role. But in our modern world, fitting in often feels a little boring. We are constantly searching for ways to stand out, to feel special, and to prove that we are more than just another face in the crowd. A conspiracy theory is a powerful psychological tool for doing just that. It allows you to feel like a truth seeker in a world of sheep. You're not just a consumer of news, you're a detective. You're not just a voter, you're a secret agent. This sense of uniqueness, of being an enlightened mind in a world of blind followers, is an incredibly powerful ego boost. It taps into our deep-seated need to feel like we have a unique perspective, a secret understanding of the world that others have missed. It's an intellectual version of a peacock fanning its feathers. Your brain gets to feel special, intelligent, and important, and all it has to do is believe in a narrative that others reject. Bạn có muốn mình chép nốt số 2 và số 1 để hoàn chỉnh bộ này không? Ok, mình sẽ chép lại ý nguyên đoạn bạn vừa gửi, giữ nguyên nội dung và định dạng. Number 2, the simplicity of a single villain. Your brain is a storyteller, and every good story needs a villain. In our actual real-life world, the villains are vague, abstract, and deeply unsatisfying. Is it the economy that's causing you stress? Is it climate change that's causing a hurricane? Is it decentralized systems that are making things feel out of control? Your brain hates these kinds of answers. It's impossible to feel real hatred or fear towards an abstract concept. But a conspiracy theory gives you a single, concrete, and manageable villain. It's no longer the market, it's the bankers. It's no longer the weather, it's secret weather control machines. This is psychologically comforting because your brain is a simple machine at its core. It needs a clear, punchable enemy to direct its fear and anger. It's easier to be mad at a secret cabal than it is to be anxious about the inherent unpredictability of a world that doesn't care about you at all. A conspiracy theory takes the terrifying chaos of the world and simplifies it into a story of good versus evil. And in that story, at least you know who the bad guys are. Number 1, the final paradox. After all this, you might be asking yourself, what's the point? Are we doomed to be helpless puppets of our own brains? Is there a 3-step plan to stop loving conspiracy theories? The answer is, there isn't one. The final paradox of a modern brain is that it is so desperate for a problem and solution model that it gets anxious when there isn't one. The attraction to conspiracy theories isn't a problem to be solved, it's a condition to be understood. It's a sign that your ancient brain is trying to make sense of a modern world it was never built for. It's a testament to the fact that you are a human being, wired for pattern seeking, for social belonging, and for the psychological comfort of a simple story. The unease you feel when you hear about a confusing world event isn't a bug in your system. It's a feature. It's your ancient brain, your ancient body, and your ancient soul trying to find a purpose in a perfectly safe world. And the only real solution is to understand why you are feeling this way. So, Next time you feel a little pull toward a weird conspiracy theory, don't hate yourself. Just remember, your brain is doing exactly what it was built to do. It's trying to keep you safe and sane, one weird theory at a time. Vậy là bạn đã có đủ trọn bộ từ số 15 đến số 1 rồi. Bạn có muốn mình gom toàn bộ lại thành một file Word hoặc PDF sạch sẽ, đánh số rõ ràng để bạn tiện dùng không?